Ladies? Yeah? Right on. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to this council meeting this morning. I'm going to call this meeting to order. We have an agenda before us. I was just wondering if there's any additions to the agenda.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Council. Administration would like to request the following. Proposal addition to the agenda. Under 9, new business. 9.2.4, right-of-way hazard tree removal and cleanup. Those are the only item administration would like to propose.
All right, thank you. Council, do you guys have any? I'm seeing none. I'm just looking for a motion to adopt the amended agenda. Thank you, Councillor Deschênes, for making that motion. That the committee approves adoption of the agenda with the following additions under 9, new business, 9.2.4, right-of-way hazard tree removal and cleanup. Any discussion on this? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. On to regular meeting of council. I need adoption of the minutes for the May 12, 2026 meeting. Thank you, Councillor Kaluk, for making that motion. That council approves adoption of the minutes of the May 12, 2026 regular meeting of council as presented. Any discussion, council, on this motion? I'm not seeing. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Thank you. And I need one for the committee meeting of May 19, 2026. Thank you, Councillor Palmer, for making that motion. That council approves adoption of the minutes of May 19, 2026 committee of the whole meeting as presented. Any discussion, council, on this motion? I'm not seeing any. I'm going to call for the vote, please. That's carried. On to development applications 7.1, please. There she is, smiles herself. Morning.
Morning, Reeve Council.
Morning. Did you plan that the fan would go? Oh, it came back on. Go ahead. Oh, man. Stuck my foot in my mouth. Strike one.
So this is development permit application 2026-D-061 for Riel Beach Properties. The applicant is applying for an intensive recreational use to expand their existing campground to add 4 cabins and 10 more campsites. The property is located on the north shore of Frog Lake. Adjacent properties are leased Crown lands and quarter section remnants. Riel Beach Campground is a seasonal campground which has been operating since 2004 with 36 powered sites, 6 non-powered sites on Frog Lake. In 2016, they added a washroom and laundry facility, and they operate seasonally from May long weekend to September long weekend. An emergency response plan was provided. It indicates that if one access road is blocked due to fire, campers are to egress to the lake. The applicant added 2 of the 4 cabins prior to the application due to the unfamiliarity with the process and would like to resolve this non-compliance and continue with additional development. Adjacent landowner letters were sent out on May 1st, 2026, and we received no concerns. Our recommendation for development permit application 2026-D-061 is approve the request for an intensive recreation use for a campground expansion for 10 sites and 4 cabins as a discretionary use as per Part 6, Section 6.6 and Part 7, Section 7.3.2 of the Land Use Bylaw with the following conditions. As per Section 7.3.2 of the Land Use Bylaw 1915, the minimum setback shall be front yard 38 meters, side yard 6 meters, rear yard 6 meters. Applicable building, electrical, gas, plumbing, and sewer permits are required as per the Alberta Safety Codes Act. Shall comply with the Consolidated Public Safety Bylaw number 1812 regarding noise and nuisance. As per Section 52 of the Land Use Bylaw number 1667, sorry, I need that corrected. Outdoor lighting shall be located so that rays of light are not directed at an adjacent site, do not adversely affect an adjacent site, and do not adversely affect traffic safety. The developer shall ensure that emergency vehicle access is not obstructed at any time. The campground design and maintenance shall have regard to the Fire Smart Guide for Community Protection as amended from time to time. Fire pits shall be approved by the Bonneville Regional Fire Authority. And as per section 6.13.3 of the land use bylaw number 1915, a minimum building setback of 30 meters is required from the high water mark of a water body to which the Crown claims ownership unless a geotechnical engineer study prepared by a professional engineer illustrates that a lesser setback is suitable. Any questions?
Councillor Crick.
No questions. It looks good. I'll make a motion to approve it.
All right. Thank you, Councillor Crick, for making this motion. The council approves development permit application number 2026D061 for intensive recreation use for a campground expansion for 10 campsites and 4 cabins at Southeast 358-3 west of the 4th Meridian as discretionary use as per Part 6, Section 6.6 and Part 7, Section 7.3.2 of the land use bylaw with the following conditions before you, council. Any discussion on this motion? Yes, Deputy Reeve Fadeev.
Yeah, just a quick question, regards to, is there a disposal site on this property?
Yes, they have a disposal site.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Thank you for that question. Any other questions or comments? Okay, I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Thank you. On to 7.2, please.
This is development permit application 2026-D-064 for Pine Meadows Colony. The applicant is applying for a variance to policy 3A.007 municipal road approach policy to allow 3 approaches on the parcel. The property is located at the southeast corner of Township Road 604 and Range Road 461. Adjacent properties are the Pine Meadow Hutterite Colony, a residential parcel, and agricultural quarter sections. The applicant constructed a sheep barn and lambing facility north of the existing farmhouse. To access the site, access to the site has been provided through one of the 2 existing approaches at the farmhouse. However, this has been creating challenges as the feed trucks have been sinking into the soft ground. The applicant is therefore proposing to construct a new approach at the sheep barn and remove one of the existing approaches at the farmhouse. There are currently 3 existing approaches to this quarter section. Access to Township Road 604 was established after the colony received approval from NRCB for its multi-species confined feeding operation. A site inspection was completed and they already constructed this additional approach. Referrals were sent to Infrastructure Services Department with no concerns returned, and adjacent landowner letters were sent out on the 5th, and we did not receive any concerns. Recommendation for development application 2026-D-064 is approve the request for variance to policy 3A.007 municipal approach policy to allow 3 approaches per quarter section as a discretionary use as per Part 6, Section 6.3 and Part 7, Section 7.3.2 of the land use bylaw with the following conditions. Construct as per MD condition standards for road approaches. Contact the Planning and Development Department once the approach is completed and ready for final inspection. And the 4th approach is to be removed within 90 days after inspection of new approach. Any questions?
Yes, Councillor Palmer, then Councillor DeShane.
Through the reef to planning, just a question, where's the 4th approach that they're removing?
The 4th approach would be one of the approaches at the townhouse or at the farmhouse. So the little red orange dot there, you can see one is right next to it and one is south of it.
So then that leaves 2 approaches, correct?
2 approaches on that Range Road.
Oh, because there's 2 to that site. Okay, gotcha. Very good, thank you.
Councillor DeShane.
Yeah, so this residence is part of the quarter section, agricultural quarter, is it?
That is correct.
Okay, it's not an acreage. So we have bylaws or policies in place to state how many approaches we have onto our roads?
Yes, policy 3A.007 states that a quarter section can have 2 approaches.
And this quarter section has approaches on other sides of the, so we'll end up with 2 to 4 approaches still, or 2 to 3 approaches?
Their maximum number of approaches that they want to keep on this parcel will be 3.
So it'll be beyond our policy.
Yes, that is why this is being brought to council.
Okay, thank you.
Did I hear you correct that they have already built this?
That is correct.
Okay, so if we deny this, they have to rip it out or what?
That would be our next step.
Right. Okay, Counselor Crick, then Counselor DeShane.
Yeah, I guess, like you said, they've already built it. That being said, then they've sent out adjacent landowner letters, no concerns, and they sent, infrastructure department has no concerns, so I'll make a motion to approve it.
All right, thank you, Counselor Crick, for making this motion. That the council approves development permit application number 2026D064 for a variance to policy 3A007 municipal road approach policy to allow 3 approaches per quarter as discretionary use as part 6, section 6.3 and part 7, section 7.3.2 of the land use bylaw with the following conditions before you, council. Any discussion on this motion? Yes, Counselor DeShane.
Yes, in the past, going through a personal experience with the municipality building an approach onto an acreage, I had to follow very strict rules, and it costs a lot of money to put that acreage driveway in approach. And I was told that if it wasn't done correctly, the grader MD grader would probably come and remove it because if it's not up to spec. So I think the fact that they built this approach without asking, I think we should deny it, but I believe that's rules have to be followed with stuff like this, especially, and they are a big business there, and I don't think they should be allowed any privileges like other people.
Yeah, I just, someone needs to go and have a chat with them, and we might pass this one this time, but if this kind of stuff continues, well, I can't see us as council keep passing these things, because, you know, over the years, we've come down hard on people that do this, and they did it. It's not the end of the world, it's just an approach, I understand, but to have it built and then ask for permission, it just doesn't make sense to me, so.
Reeve,
Yes, Deputy Reeve Fadev.
could you tell me who the adjacent landowners are? You can't? Okay. Chances are it's probably themselves, so,
No, it's they own the quarters all around there, so this house is a house that they bought with the quarter to buy land, and they probably put a family in there, so they're the only ones that are gonna be, they have all the land around it pretty well, so, yeah.
yeah, I'm not a fan of asking for permission after either, right?
Yeah.
Getting it built, and so, but yeah, for sure. Okay, thank you.
All right, any other comments or discussion? I'm seeing none, I'll call for the vote. That is defeated. Okay, on to the next one. We'll have to deal with that later. On to 7.3.
This is development permit application 2026-D-066 for Chrono Turnarounds Incorporated. The applicant is applying for a change of use to a minor rural industrial use for a turnaround management company. The property is located on Highway 28, a quarter mile south of the Township Road 610 intersection. Adjacent properties are an RV campsite, agricultural quarter sections, and remnants. The applicant is no longer operating Journey North Cidery and would like to repurpose the building for a turnaround, otherwise known as a shutdown, management company. Their company is involved in managing, planning, scheduling, supervision, and implementing project and quality controls for oil field facility turnarounds. Their building will be used primarily for administrative office space, and the shop will be utilized for upkeeping and maintenance of company vehicles and small-scale materials kitting and staging supports for client projects. They operate Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. with extended hours during peak project times. There will be 3 full-time staff, 2 part-time employees, and 10 to 14 subcontractors who will occasionally utilize the building. Their fleet is made up of 3 light-duty pickup trucks, 2 office vans, 3 office trailers that will be located at job sites for the majority of the time. There will not be any dangerous goods on site, nor production of anything other than domestic and office waste. An Alberta transportation permit has been applied for and approved. Adjacent landowners' letters were sent out on May 5th, and we received 1 call asking for more information, which was provided, and no concerns were registered. Recommendation for development application 2026-D-066 is approve the request for a change of use to a minor rural industrial use for a turnaround management company as a discretionary use as per Part 6, Section 6.28 and Part 7, Section 7.3.2 of the Land Use Bylaw with the following conditions. As per Section 6.21 of the Land Use Bylaw, 1915, outdoor lighting shall be located so that rays of light are not directed at an adjacent site, do not adversely affect an adjacent site, and do not adversely affect traffic safety. Outdoor storage of goods, products, material, or equipment shall be screened from the public thoroughfares to the satisfaction of the Development Authority. Applicable building, electrical, gas, plumbing, and sewer permits are required as per Alberta Safety Codes Act. The permit is valid for the current scope of business. If expansion is intended, a new development permit shall be required. And we do have the applicants here if you have questions outside of what I can answer.
Okay, thank you. Just looking for a motion, council. Yes, Councillor Palmer.
I can make the motion to approve.
Okay, thank you.
Recommendations.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Palmer that council approves development permit application number 2026D-066 for a minor rural industrial use for a turn-around management company as part of the Northeast 3366 west of the 4th Meridian as discretionary use as Part 6, Section 6.28 and Part 7, Section 7.3.2 of the Land Use Bylaw with the following conditions before us, council. Any discussion on this? Okay, I'll call for the vote. Are we waiting for me? I don't have it on the screen, but I'll vote in favor. There we go. Thank you, that's carried. Thank you. On to 7.4.
This is development permit application 2026-D-070 for Botanical Blooms Incorporated. The applicant is applying for a major home. Oh, sorry, that is incorrect.
We're on the greenhouse expansion, I think.
Yeah, the applicant is applying for an expansion of their existing greenhouse business. The property is located half a mile north of Highway 55 and 891 roundabout. Adjacent properties are residential parcels, a quarter section, and a remnant. The applicant started Botanical Blooms Incorporated in 2023 with a permit for a 5,400 square foot greenhouse. They would like to add 2,160 square foot addition. They still operate with 2 owners, and their hours are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, and 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays, seasonally in the spring to the fall. Adjacent landowner letters were sent out May 5th, and we did not receive any calls of concern. Recommendation for development application 2026-D-070 is approve the request for a greenhouse expansion of 2,160 square foot as a discretionary use as per Part 6 of the general regulations and Part 7, Section 7.3.2 of the land use bylaw with the following conditions. As per Section 6.14.1 of the land use bylaw 1915, the minimum front yard section setback shall be 63.7 meters. As per Section 7.3.6 of the land use bylaw 1915, the minimum setback shall be side yard 6 meters, rear yard 6 meters. Applicable building, electrical, plumbing, gas, and sewer permits are required as per Alberta Safety Codes Act. An Alberta transportation approval is required. Building waste materials shall be contained on site in a waste bin or covered/enclosed trailer as per Consolidated Public Safety Bylaw number 1812. And as per Section 6.12 of the Land Use Bylaw 1915, outdoor lighting shall be located so that rays of light are not directed at adjacent sites, do not adversely affect adjacent sites, and do not adversely affect traffic safety. Any questions?
Counselor Klug?
I'd like to make the motion to approve this expansion.
All right, thank you, Counselor Klug, for making this motion. The council approves development permit number 2026D-070 for a greenhouse expansion of 2,160 square feet as planned 122467 Block 1, Lot 1, within Northeast 2363-4 west of the 4th Meridian as discretionary use for Part 6 General Regulations and Part 7, Section 7.3.2 of the Land Use Bylaw with the following conditions 1 through 6 before you, council. Any discussion? I just know my mom, every time I go through the traffic circle, she tells me that there's a greenhouse to the north there. Did you know that, Barry? Yeah, I know that. She tells me every time. It's a great place, so. Anyway, any other discussion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. We're going to take a 5-minute break because 9:30 is coming up. Thanks. Okay, welcome back. We have a delegation with Big Smoke here, and good morning, sir.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good, thank you.
So I came to ask for some assistance in funding, and also you guys have been helping us out with some tables. Our event is, I think we're on year 5 now. First 2 years was with Doreen at the town. We decided to do, she wanted to do a barbecue, so she asked me and a few other fellows to be on a board. So we did that with the town for a few years, and then they handed it us 2 years ago now, so we're on year 5. What we did differently is we got sanctioned with the Kansas City Barbecue Society, which is the barbecue thing throughout the United States, sponsored by Jack Daniels. If you ever saw any huge event, that's it. So what that does is it brings people from potentially across Canada to Bonnyville now, which has been pretty great. It really opened us up. Last weekend was the first one, called Ambers and Ice in Leduc. That kicks the season off. And I think we are now grown to 16 to potentially, we're hoping for 25 contestants this year. So that's almost, I think if we get to 25, we'll have doubled what we did in the first 3 years for contestants, right? Each one of those contestants only pays, you know, $150. This year we had to raise our admission because we lost, we had some retired judges. Those judges need to be sanctioned by Kansas City Barbecue Society. So we're flying out judges from Ontario this year, so our costs have changed dramatically, right? We're putting them up in hotels, paying for their way. So we've got some additional costs to us this year. Fortunately, we do have a lot of things that are donated. But as we grow, things like getting 1 or 2 light standards or gen sets from Hertz is growing to 3, so we're gonna have to pay out of pocket because they have limitations, right? So I guess what we're asking for, not being a association or charity, we were hoping to get $4,000. I don't know what your guys' limitations are for groups that are not charities or registered associations. We have also been awarded the Canada Day Celebration beer gardens from the town of Bonnyville, so we'll be doing that for them. And I think we have brokered a deal with you guys through Liz Nickerson that works at the ski hill. She's on our board as well, and she had asked about some tables that we could potentially pick up from Sobeys after their pancake breakfast. So we may be taking those, so we can figure out what it is you guys are committed to, and I think take that off the bill, as I understand, for a potential donation for this year. Our goal is to grow, to have beer gardens and a band, and we're gonna be located at that Kushner Park there, right beside the C2, in that parking lot between the Ball Diamonds and the skate park. So the town is confident we can be there for a while. We got room to grow there too, which is nice. So yeah, that's our humble ask, is a little bit of money to help us accelerate this year and the coming years. And again, our goal is to register as a charity, right? So the idea is to have markets in the future. We do a mini golf, we do bouncy castles, and I mean, look at us, good-looking group. We have fun. We will be selling food. So Liz has worked that out with the health inspector. So we can be selling barbecue, because the last few years with the town we did, and then last year and the year before we didn't. So yeah, that brings more people in. They were asking us, why can't we buy food? So we'll be making a bunch of pulled pork and other sandwiches. And the contestants that are, some of them are food trucks that are already Alberta registered and certified. So those groups will be able to sell their food as well. And they're coming from all over Alberta. And they can come from Saskatchewan. So we have groups from all over. Yeah, it's been a nice event. So, and I made those trophies myself. It was fun. Last year, we got in donations from sponsorships, roughly $11,000. We were left with about $900 in our bank account after that. So the costs are going up, right, as we grow.
All right. Thank you. Questions from council? Any questions? Deputy Reeve Fadeev, or, okay, Councillor Klug, and then Deputy Reeve Fadeev.
Morning. How many people are you expecting to attend this?
So our attendance last year, we gauged it public. I think we were around 600. I'd say 450 to 600 max through the weekend. The C2 had a some type of a hockey camp there or something at the same time, so that was beneficial. And the idea is to work more with them, right? Adding like markets. The thing is, we were with the rodeo, so we've always been trying to. Those few years we were with the rodeo, so we're setting ourselves on a different weekend where we're not diluting the community, whether it be from Cold Lake to Therian with events, you know what I mean? So that we have, the public can come out, they're not going to some rodeo or something else in Cold Lake. So, yeah, I'd say 450 to 600 was kind of our count, roughly.
Are you expecting quite a bit more this year then?
Yeah. And with more contestants, they bring their whole families. And then we've got more kids in the kids queue and all that kind of stuff, right? They tend to stay there. The beauty of this location is it's close to Sobeys. And a lot of times they come, they need more stuff for barbecue. We usually set up with Hamel's, like brisket sale. some of these guys will get their brisket from there. So it's been good for the community and those kind of things, right? Because they're shopping. I sell a ton of ice from my business, and I happen to have a ton of hardwood barbecues and sauces, so it benefits my business and a lot of other businesses, right? So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Deputy Fadeev?
Yeah, thanks. So this is your fifth year then. So as far as, so you're not a, you have a board, but you're not a society.
That's right.
You
That's
guys,
what
you
we're-
guys probably have vendor insurance and all that stuff.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, always do. Liquor license, vendor insurances, through cooperators.
Yeah,
through
so what is the town of Bonnyville supporting you guys with?
The town of Bonnyville is gonna be supporting us with, well, we haven't settled on that exactly yet. So I still have to go and delegate with them.
Right, yeah, because it sounds like a lot of people are gonna be using hotels and
Yeah.
and all spin-off business and fueling up and all that stuff, all done in the town of Bonnyville.
Yeah, in fact, our judges all come, so the judges also have to be sanctioned, and they're all put up in hotels as well. Luckily,
Right.
we don't have to pay for that, but we have to have a huge, I think we had 30 judges come from all over Alberta. They just email us and say, hey, I want to come. We don't charge them for that. They pay out of pocket. They come down here. They eat the one day, but they're here for 3 days. So
Right.
that's beneficial to the hotels as well. And we work out a deal with, I think it was Micro Hotel last year, to get a better rate. So they've been good to us in that in that way. Yeah.
So when are you looking at getting into a society or?
We're hoping to do it this year.
Yes, sir, okay.
Well, I'm sure if we should be a society or a charity, I mean, there's not a lot of differences to the two, but we'll work out which one is
And I think, yeah, I think the
best for
reason
us.
why you can't apply for a grant is because you're not a society and
Correct.
on and on. Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Okay, thanks.
Yes, Counselor Palmer?
Through the reef, to Ryan. So I kind of got caught up in their shows. They're really interesting. But ultimately, once each category is completed, the judges eat the food. Does anybody else get to eat?
Not in that case, and that's why we're asking them to, and there is so much left over. It's crazy. There are judges that have Ziploc bags that can take extra. But the way the judging is intense. It's one bite, put it down, very quick, rapid fire judging, and then there's so much waste. But these contestants cook a lot of food that weekend, and they are interested. We put a survey out when they signed up. I think we have 6 that are interested in selling their food this year, and then, so that's nice.
Okay.
And we'll do a ticket sales where you come, you buy tickets from us, then you just give them a ticket, and you can get a certain amount of food. So that'll be nice for the public, because they've been asking and asking every year.
Yeah, because your attendance probably would go up as a
Yeah.
result. Thank you.
So we've crossed that hurdle, so that's good.
Perfect.
Caroline? Counselor Palmer?
I'll make the recommended, for council options 1, that council accepts the presentation by Big Smoke and as information furthermore directs administration to bring their request to a future council meeting.
Thank you, Caroline, for making this motion that council accepts a presentation by Big Smoke Montville as information furthermore directs administration to bring the requests for a letter of support and funding support to future meeting of council for consideration. Any discussion on this motion, council? Yes, Counselor DeShane.
I'm not familiar with this group. Were they here for funding in the past?
No.
No, first time? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? All right, I'd like to call for the vote then. That's carried. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You have an awesome rest of the
Appreciate
day, and
Hopefully you guys can come down. It would be nice.
just get them to cut the little chunk out and then throw it in the mouth, and then we'll eat the ribs. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
I think our Bonneville Search and Rescue Society is here. I know those boys, so come on up.
Good morning, Council.
Morning.
My name's Andrew Nicholas. I'm joined with Ron Hamer. I serve as president of Bonneville Search and Rescue, and we're here to ask the council to designate us as as an eligible community association for the town, for the MD Community Association grant.
Okay.
So a little bit about who we are. We were officially formed as a nonprofit in September of 1997. We've been operating in the community since that time uninterrupted. We provide services to the MD of Bonneville, the town of Bonneville, as well as surrounding communities and neighbors, as well as responding to provincial and interprovincial assistance as requested. We typically we are trained to the highest standards. We are a nonprofit, fully professional organization that are trained to the highest standards of search and rescue in the country. I myself am a national certified ground and search trainer, as well as a provincial trainer for ground search and rescue. We also provide search and rescue services in swiftwater, ice rescue, and ATV and tracking services to the community as well as disaster response and recovery. We currently have about 12 members on staff. We've grown about 100% in the last 12 months, and we anticipate growing by about 4 to 5 new members every year right now. So our membership is considering growing. And the reason we're coming to in front of you to ask to be placed as part of the eligible community associate grant is because it broadens our ability to ask for grants for equipment, but more importantly, as you're aware, insurance costs are increasing every year. The equipment that we purchase that insurance keeps going up. Insurance never seems to come down, as well as so any sort of grant that we receive goes towards our operating costs, our insurance and maintenance of our equipment. That it frees up our time to concentrate on community outreach, as well as keeping up our certifications and trainings. So every dollar that we don't have to fundraise or can find through other means outside of fundraising puts us in a position where we can respond to calls and increase our training and services to the community. And our current call-out rate volume is currently seeing about 4 call-outs a year, about 2 to 3 mutual aid call-outs a year. And we pay out of pocket, our searchers pay out of pocket for their own personal gear. My equipment themselves roughly is about $2,000, not including all the training and the equipment that our society owns.
Councillor DeShane?
Thank you to the Reeve. So you're not the only search and rescue in the municipality, are you? Or are you the only one that's operating?
We serve with, Cold Lake Search and Rescue also serves the MD of Bonneville as well.
Okay, there is one there. That's a separate one.
Correct, yes.
Okay. And how many members do you have in your?
We have 12.
12?
12 certified members, yes. So we have 2 to 3 that are non-certified, which means they don't go on calls, but they support us in other means.
And by the looks of it, you have a full line of equipment, rescue equipment.
That's correct, sir, yes.
So what is it you have for large equipment, like boat?
We have 2 boats. We have a Crestliner V-Hull boat for our lakes, and we have a Zodiac-style boat with a jet motor for the rivers. And we've recently obtained through a provincial grant a towfish for underwater searches to increase our underwater search capabilities. We also have an ATV and trailers to move equipment around, as well as radios, GPSs.
Yeah. You have a command center?
You're not. We had. Ours is currently inoperable because of cost.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from council or any more? You guys, you're done with your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Morning.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Just a couple of things that I'd like to mention. As our lakeland grows, and we have an influx of new people and people buying ATVs and boats and using our lakelands, not just for the people coming in. I mean, it is a feather in our cap to be able to provide a service like that. We work directly under the RCMP when we're called out. A 911 could happen at any time. It could happen today, it could happen twice today. Some of the important things to remember are we're all probably parents and grandparents, and it could happen to myself as well as you could take half of this room and say they're waiting for the call to find out if their loved one or their kids that were out in the canoe, if they were found. You may never get that call. You may have this phone sitting at home and you're not going to get that call. We go into a recovery at that point. The other half of the room might be lucky enough to get the call that says, hey, we found your kids, or we found your buddy that was hunting. He's under a tree, he spent the night, he's in pretty good shape, broke his arm, whatever the case. That's up to us guys to go out there. Our team is trained, and we did extensive training again just last fall. We went into the ice in Moose Lake, at which point, if we're not there quick enough, it becomes a recovery. I mean, the facts are stark. We can't sugarcoat anything. We put ourselves out there. We put ourselves and our lives on the line to save a person. That's our goal, to save a human life. If the unfortunate happens, we also have to have the closure for the families as well as us. We have to be able to provide that, hope that we can find that individual or individuals. The scenarios can play out in any amount, any way. It could be hunting. Folks could be just merely on a trail walk or a ride on their ATVs. They could run out of fuel. The cell service is bad. There's so many scenarios, but wouldn't you like to be that half of the room that gets the call that says, hey, we found your party? You don't want to be the ones that are sitting for 3 weeks waiting, for the recovery. And the worst part of that is, if our services aren't able to go out and search for the individuals, we don't get closure either. I'm a grandparent. I'd hate to find out, the person has perished, okay, but to get the closure for that person, that's the most important thing for anybody. And if we're underfunded, if we can't maintain our equipment, right now, we go out of pocket for fuel. When we're called out on a search, we're expected to be able to get there. We work. Some of us can sidestep our full-time jobs. It's not just for our community, but it's also to welcome incoming communities and incoming visitors that want to utilize our lakelands. So the importance is there. We currently need funding. I don't need to to emphasize that. So it's a pretty important thing to have. We don't run into burning buildings like the fire department. They're trained separately, but we do cross-train with the fire department and the ambulance services. We've been training with them. Myself and a couple of our members have been to the Alberta mental health meetings, and we've had to go to the classrooms, to deal with PTSD and those types of things. That's real. We go through the same thing as our other emergency responders. We are first responders, and we get called out, as I say, by the RCMP. Our umbrella is the Alberta Search and Rescue. And Bonnyville was introduced by a gentleman, a businessman here from this town, who started St. Paul and Bonnyville together. About the best way to put it into perspective is we need this service. Everybody in this area needs this service. It's a vital service. So I'd like to ask, that these grants that we apply for are looked at very, very scrupulously and very seriously. It's for everybody involved. And I think I can leave it at that. I mean, there's enough respect to go with that. And I ask the council to consider. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Did I cut you off?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer?
Through the reeve. I'd like to make the motion that we proceed with option 1, but with an addition to that, maybe administration can provide some, a better picture for possibly councillors or myself, because I'm not well versed in search rescue, BFRA, and how all these organizations kind of work together. I want to go with administration's recommendation with 1, but also with some background from maybe a CAO meeting to just better understand the background and how everything kind of works together. But that's my motion.
All right, thank you, Councillor Palmer, for making this motion. The council accepts presentation by Bonneville Search and Rescue Society as information, and furthermore directs administration to bring back the request for funding support to a future meeting of council for consideration. Any discussion on this? Yes, Deputy Reeve Fideo, followed by Councillor Crick.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for your service. I greatly appreciate it. I know there's been some shortcomings in the past but again, it's all about funding. So what kind of funding are you guys getting from the province?
So we only get a training grant that's not guaranteed every year, and we get a equipment grant that's not guaranteed every year. So it goes through an application, and then if we're awarded, then we get it. If not, then we don't.
So do you know what the mandate is from the province in regards to supporting you guys?
I'm not sure I understand. Can you?
So does the province say, we're going to take care of search and rescue in this capacity, and this is the funding that we're going to give you guys? No?
So, no. So what the province does is they give Search and Rescue Alberta a block funding.
Gotcha.
And then and it's administered in 2 different grants. One's an equipment grant, one's a training grant, and that goes to all search and rescue teams in Alberta. There's currently 33. So there's not enough for every group every single group to be awarded money with those grants.
Gotcha.
So it goes to a committees, they submit applications, and then a committee is struck to award the grants as see fit. But that's as far as the funding from the provincial government goes.
So the further north we go, the less money we're getting, and it's mostly just for training?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, appreciate that.
Councillor Crick?
Yeah, thanks again for the work you guys do. The question's very similar, I guess, to the last one there. What is your current operating budget?
It has increased, but our current operating budget now is sitting around $5,000 to cover our day-to-day costs, and that's just the insurance costs.
Okay, so insurance, fuel, where does the fuel come from?
Comes from our pockets.
Okay.
And the RCMP, when we're out on an active call, the RCMP does reimburse us for the fuel that we use while we're on a call.
But your training and everything else?
Anything outside of that is not on our own dime.
Okay, thanks.
Councillor Palmer, you have anything else?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Just want to make sure. All right, any other discussion? Yeah, gentlemen, thank you for all you do and a great presentation today, and make sure the rest of your members know that we're very appreciative of you guys, right? Okay, I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you, gentlemen. Have an awesome rest of the day. Yep, you're welcome. All right, let's go on to 9.2.1.
Good morning,
Morning.
Mr. Reeve, Council. The first one I'm going to do is the appointment of the weed inspectors for 2026. As required by the province of Alberta, Council is required to approve the appointment of pest inspectors to enforce the Alberta Pest Control Act within the municipal district of Bonnyville for the 2026 season. Administration is presenting the following seasonal hires for appointment as pest inspectors for 2026. Glenn Hassan, Dash Quiteves, Aileen Kamaladine, Michaela McPherson, Danielle Antonuc, Brooke Pachelnik, Cindy McLeod, Maya Odell, David Pofantis, and Tyler Pratch. All pest inspectors will be issued an Alberta Pest Inspector Identification Card. The card will be used while conducting inspections across the municipality to properly identify themselves to residents. The Agricultural Service Department, in collaboration with the Marketing and Communications Department, will publish information in the Rural Review and on Facebook for public awareness. Administration's recommendation is that Council approves the appointment of the following seasonal hires of pest inspectors for the 2026 season to enforce the Alberta Pest Control Act as required by the province of Alberta. So it'll be Glenn Hassan, Dash Quiteves, Aileen Kamlandine, Michaela McPherson, Danielle Antonuc, Brooke Pachelnik, Maya Odell, David Pofantis, and Tyler Pratch.
Thank you. Councillor DeShane?
We might as well just get on with it, and I'd like to make a motion to approve this option one.
Sorry. You caught me off guard there, Ed. Thank you, Councillor DeShane, for making this motion that Council approves the appointment of the following seasonal hires as pest inspectors for 2026 to enforce the Alberta Pest Control Act as required by the province of Alberta. The 9 great people that we have before us in the list. Before you, any discussion on this motion? Let's just get on with this vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have a question.
I'll call for the vote.
I do have a question first.
Okay, go ahead.
The province mandates.
What a guy. What a guy.
That's why I want to get on with it. So
That's right. That's right.
The
Okay.
province mandates how many pest control officers we need, or people?
Through the Reeve, no, we choose that amount.
You'll need that many to work the whole municipality.
Through the Reeve, we do crop pests, we do animal pests. There's a whole bunch of different pests that we do.
Yep.
And rather than just having a couple appointed, if they're in the area, they can do it.
Okay, thank you.
Ed, is it okay that I call for the vote now? All right, let's call for the vote. I think. Sorry. That's okay. That was funny. It lightens up the meeting, right on. That's carried. 9.2.2.
Okay, I'm gonna take this one away. So I'll do the appointment of the weed inspectors for 2026. As required by the province of Alberta, council is required to approve the appointment of weed inspectors to enforce the Alberta Weed Control Act within the municipal district of Bonnyville for the 2026 season. Administration is presenting the following seasonal hires for appointments as weed inspectors for 2026. So Dash Kotevis, Aline Kamaladine, Michaela McPherson, Danielle Antonuc, Brooke Pachelnik, Cindy McLeod, Maya Odell, David Pofantis, and Tyler Pratch. Communication strategy. All weed inspectors will be issued an Alberta Weed Inspector Identification Card. This card will be used while conducting inspections across the municipality to properly identify themselves to residents. The Agricultural Services Department, in collaboration with the Marketing and Communications Department, will publish articles in the Rural Review for public awareness. Administration recommends that council approves the appointment of the following seasonal hires as weed inspectors for 2026 to enforce the Alberta Weed Control Act as required by the province of Alberta. So Dash Quatevis, Aline Kameladine, Michaela McPherson, Danielle Antonuk, Brooke Pachelnik, Maya Odell, David Pafantis, and Tyler Pratch.
Thank you. Deputy Reeve Fadeev?
Before I get on with the meeting, I just want to ask you a question in regards to, do we ever get that vehicle wrap done?
Through the Reeve to Councillor Faneev. We have a pest control truck and a weed inspector truck deckled.
Cool. Right across the whole thing,
It's down the side of the truck, yes.
like the ones you presented last time? Really big? No? Don't remember?
I believe that we decided to go with MD branding
Okay.
on these trucks.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, if you see them out, you'll see the pest inspector and weed inspector down the side.
Sounds good. Okay, appreciate that. Thanks. I'll make the motion to approve these.
Thank you for the motion. Deputy Fideo, that council approves the appointment of the following seasonal hires. I just want to laugh. As weed inspectors for 2026 to enforce the Alberta Weed Control Act as required by the province of Alberta with the fine individuals below. I didn't think I'd ever laugh at these kind of motions. Any discussion? Oh, we're having fun today. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. On to 9.2.3. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. We'll be a little more serious now.
Morning, Council.
Morning.
All right, we're here today to discuss and to present a change in our speed limit policy. We're looking for an amendment to policy 5C.007. The municipal district speed limit policy, is 5C-017. It was recently updated to reflect a change in terminology and process. Following a review of the speed limit policy, administration is proposing an amendment to reclassify the policy from an administrative policy to a council policy, thereby bringing it into alignment with other municipal policies. Council has always had the authority to establish and amend policy, speed limits within the municipality. Accordingly, this amendment is intended to reflect that authority and ensure consistency with other policies. The procedure has also been separated from the policy to improve operational efficiency. The proposed amendments to the procedure are also attached for reference only as it relates to the policy. The amending policy, and I apologize for the number of times you're hearing me say policy. The amending policy was reviewed by the Committee of the Whole on April 21st, 2026, where they recommended it be adopted as presented. Attached for Council's review is Appendix A, Policy number C5C.007, amending speed limit policy. Appendix B, speed limit procedure, amending draft. Our reference to the strategic plan is goal number 2, enhancing safety in the community. There are no relevant provincial or federal legislation references. The cost is NA, not applicable. The amended policy, if adopted by Council, will be posted on the MD website. And administration's recommendation is that Council adopt amending policy number C-5C.017, speed limit policy, as recommended by the Committee of the Whole. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. To the policy.
Oh, we're going to go to Councillor Palmer. She has an amazing question right now.
Actually, no, I don't. I'm going to go ahead with a
Okay.
motion to go forward with the council option 1, that council adopts amending the policy, I'll save you having to say that again, C5C017 speed limit policy as recommended by Committee of the Whole.
All right, thank you, Counselor Palmer, for making that motion, and she read it, so we're not gonna read it again. Any discussion on this motion?
Nope.
All right, I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you.
Thank you kindly.
Gentlemen, have an awesome day. Do you guys want to do finance and strategic, or just skip over that right to the end? What's that?
The addition?
I forgot.
When I'm gonna make my joke, it backfired. 9.2.4? Okay,
Administration is requesting council approval for an additional $150,000 for a total project budget of $300,000 to support the completion of the project by the end of June 2026. The project began in mid-May 2026 with 4 contractors working in 4 areas of the municipality. With work now underway, administration has a clear understanding of the project costs and the length of time of the original budget, that the original budget will support the work. Administration has determined that the previous approved funding will be insufficient to complete the project. Increasing the total budget to $300,000 will allow the project to continue without interruption and be completed as planned. And as a refresher, following the January 2026 squall, administration had observed widespread blowdown in certain roadside ditch segments, creating operational and safety concerns. With the upcoming operation season approaching, administration has determined the removal should occur prior to ditch mowing. If the debris was to remain in the ditches when mowing begins, it will increase the likelihood of damage to the mowing equipment, unplanned downtime, and scheduling disruption during peak seasonal operations. Worker and public safety hazards, including flying debris and unstable hung-up material. Reduce quality and efficiency of ditch mowing and roadside maintenance. The extent of the blowdown exceeds what can be reasonably be addressed through existing in-house capacity, with the material affecting other priority summer operations. The cost of the additional funding will be funding out of cash flow reserves. The communication strategy, this item will be part of the agenda package available on the website as part of the May 26 agenda package. Administration recommended action would be that council approves an unbudgeted expenditure in the amount of $150,000 for the purpose of completing the blowdown tree removal in the ditches within the municipality to be funded from cash flow reserves. And I have a map of where we're at, and we're currently have hit 135 out of our $150,000 budget. So this map is a day's end on Friday. Those are, the pink is the areas that we've cleared of ditch debris. So that is what $135,000 has done for us. The project's, it's about 30 days of the 4 contractors. So 30 days work is what we've got done there. Some of the problems that we've faced with it, and it's slowing us down a little bit, is because the trees are in the ditch, and and it happened in the winter. Every time we grate or grade the roads, the snow and dirt and debris were going on top of the logs. So we're having to go sharpen the saws a lot, and it's a little bit slower than when there's gravel and sand all on top of these trees that we're trying to cut up and do in the ditch. But we've got a pretty good handle on it. We're about 40% of the way done from the entire entire MD, both sides of the road.
thank you. Counselor Klug?
Through to Reeve. So if you're only at 40%, is 150 extra going to be enough then? 'Cause I know in my area, there's quite a few
yeah.
trees down yet, and
There's quite a few trees still. So, yeah, it could bump up a little bit more. We're
Well-
hoping to get it done through that.
Looks like there's no trees in Danny's ward, so And he's not here to defend himself. Hey, I know all about trees this year. Every quarter section that I have that has we've never pulled so many trees off to just seed a crop in our lives, so there's a lot of trees that went down. Anything that was weak out there went down this year, for sure.
Do you think maybe we should budget for around 200, and if there's anything left over, just take it back then after?
It's up to you. If you'd like to make the motion to up that, that's
I think we should make the motion. I'd like to make the motion for that.
all right. All right, thank you, Councillor Klug, for making a motion that council approves unbudgeted expenditure in the amount of $200,000 for the purpose of complementing blow down trees, removal in ditches with municipality to be funded from the cash flow reserves. Any discussion, council, on this? All right, I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote.
I know. And there's lots down yet.
We're in favor. That's carried, thank you. And I previously on 9.2.3, it was carried as well, and I forgot to mention that, so thank you. Thank you, guys. Have an awesome rest of the day. Yep. We're gonna take a break, please. Thank you.
Good morning.
Wrong one.
Yes, I believe we're on
9.3.1. Yes.
Administration has prepared amendments to the reimbursement and expense claims policy intended to support financial sustainability and ensure responsible stewardship of municipal resources and public funds. The proposed amendments to the reimbursement and expense claims policy are adding an opportunity for MD staff to expense use of their personal mobile devices under specific circumstances and revising meal allowances and incidentals to enhance accountability of spending while traveling. The Committee of the Whole reviewed this amending policy and are recommending that Council adopt the amending document with revisions with respect to the incidentals rate by adjusting the rate to $25 per night for staff and $50 per night for Council without the requirement of receipts, which was applied by administration. Attached for Council's review is Appendix A, Policy Number 2B.025, Reimbursement and Expense Claims Policy Draft. The amended policy will be posted on the MD website, and administration's recommended action is that Council adopts amended policy number C-2B.025, Reimbursement and Expense Claims Policy as recommended by the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Would someone like to make a motion? Yes, Councillor Palmer, thank you for making this motion that Council adopts amended policy number C-2B.025 reimbursement and expense claims policy as recommended by the Committee of the Whole. Any discussion, Council, on this motion? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote, please. You're in favor, Councillor Duchesne? Thank you. That's carried, thank you. On to 9.3.2.
The purpose of this report is to present Council with financial statements for the first quarter ended March 31st, 2026. Regular quarterly financial reporting provides Council with the required financial information to make informed business decisions and assists in meeting council's fiduciary responsibility to the community, as well as adhering to the CAO's legislated responsibility to inform council. Attached for council's review is Appendix A, the Statement of Operations, Appendix B, Statement of Financial Position, Appendix C, Schedule of Reserves, Appendix D, Statement of Cash Position, and Appendix E, Capital Project Work in Progress Report. The report is posted on the MD of Bonnyville website under the council agenda for May 26th. Administration's recommended action is that council accepts the unaudited financial statements report for the 2026 first quarter ended March 31st, 2026 as information.
Counselor Palmer? All right, thank you, Counselor Palmer, for making the motion that council accepts the unaudited final statements report for the 2026 first quarter ended March 31st, 2026 as information. Any discussion, council, on this motion? All right, I'll call for the vote. In favor? All right. You're going to shut down and come on back on? All right. That's carried. Thank you. On to 9.3.3. Thank you. Morning. Morning.
This morning, I have a property tax penalty cancellation that does not comply with our policy. The MD policy number 1.011, property tax penalty cancellation policy, establishes a uniform and consistent approach for council to address property tax penalty payment cancellations requested in the MD. When administration receives property tax cancellation requests for council's considerations, the requests are placed in one of two categories: requests meeting the criteria of policy 1.011 and requests not meeting the criteria of policy 1.011. A property tax penalty cancellation request was submitted by a property owner for one property. One property tax cancellation request was submitted to the MD on March 11th, 2026. Upon review, it does not comply with policy 1.011. To meet the criteria of the policy, the request was to be received by the last day in February, following the most current tax levy, which would have been the 2025 tax levy. The outstanding taxes and penalties were paid on March 11th, 2026. The current property owner has not received any penalty levies on any currently owned properties over the last 5 years. Excluding the September 2025 and March 2026 penalties in this cancellation request. The request is summarized below. Tax roll number 6106082020. Plan number 1023560, Block 1, Lot 19. Penalty amounts: $294.12 for September 16th, 2025, $274.51 for March 1st, 2026, for a total of $568.63. There is no outstanding balance on this account. The owner has paid the entire balance. The request is detailed in Appendix A by the property owner. The property tax penalty cancellation, MD policy number 1.011, is attached as Appendix B. The reference to provincial and federal legislation, Alberta Municipal Government Act, Sections 346 and 347. Cost and source of funding. Council's approval of this request will result in a reduction of property tax penalty revenues and the allowance for doubtful accounts totaling $568.63. Communication strategy, the property owner will be contacted by phone, email, and letter if they would like a letter sent as well. Administration recommended action that council denies the request to the September 2025 penalty and the March 2026 penalty in the amount of $568.63, as it does not comply with policy. Council's options, that council denies the request of the council to cancel the September 2025 penalty and March 2026 for roll number 610608 2020 in the amount of $568.63, as it does not comply with policy. Number two, that council approves the request to cancel the September 2025 and March 2026 penalty for roll number 610608 2020 in the amount of $568.63. Or number three, that council refers the tax penalty cancellation request for roll number 610608 2020 to bring back to administration for additional information, and then bring back to a future meeting.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer?
Through the reeve to our tax department, I'm not really understanding these penalties, because as of September 15th, the penalty was applied, but they didn't have to pay taxes till the 30th. So is this 2024 taxes that they got a penalty on September 15th?
No, this is 2025. So September 16th, the penalty was applied because they were late.
So was not the tax due date the 30th of September or the 15th?
15th.
Okay.
September 15th.
And then the March 2026. So how were they able to pay the balance and not know they had an outstanding penalty?
They contacted me, but they didn't submit their request until later.
And then it states that he never was notified because he didn't change his address, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Deputy Reeve Fadeev?
Yeah, we worked a long time on the criteria to, under two, first time missing, did you, and they're always calling and doing their due diligence with it, so, I'm good with this, so I'll go with the, requested action by, so option number one, please.
All right, thank you, Deputy Reeve Fadeev, for making this motion. That council denies the request to cancel the September 2025 penalties and the March 2026 penalties in the amount of $568.63, as it does not comply with the policy. Any discussion on this? Yes, Councillor Crick?
Yeah, through the reeve. So this individual they had been receiving tax notices, and then this one all of a sudden got sent to a wrong address. Is that correct?
No, their mortgage holder was actually paying their property taxes for them.
Okay.
So unfortunately, like many folks, they receive mail, they don't receive mail. They just expected that their mortgage company was paying it, not realizing that their mortgage company wasn't paying it any longer, and never noticed that they didn't get their tax notice because it was always handled by their mortgage company.
Okay. And then they submitted a request March 11th for cancellation. Yes. If they had done that 11 days earlier in February, then the recommendation would have been to cancel?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm okay with canceling these ones myself.
All right, any other discussion? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Yeah, have an awesome rest of the day. Thanks. Let's go to 9.4.1. Morning again.
Good morning. I have in front of council this morning the 2026 Council Strategic Priorities document. So earlier this year, MD of Bonnyville and senior administration, MD Council and senior administration attended a strategic planning session to formally define short-term and long-term municipal priorities. Following council's guidance, administration has drafted the 2026 Council Strategic Priorities document. This document is intended to focus administration and council on the direction and goals of the municipality, as well as to set accountability for achieving success. This new plan would replace the current 2022 to 2027 Council Strategic Plan. The Committee of the Whole reviewed this draft document on April 21st and are recommending that Council adopt the 2026 Council Strategic Priorities as presented. It is attached as Appendix A for Council's referral. If adopted by Council, this document would be posted on the MD website, and the recommended action today is that Council adopts the 2026 Council Strategic Priorities as recommended by the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Someone like to make a motion? All right. Thank you, Councillor DeShane, for making this motion. That Council adopts the 2026 Council Strategic Priorities as recommended by the Committee of the Whole. Any discussion on this, Councillor DeShane? No? That's okay. I'll call for the vote then. I think he's playing with my mind today. That's what he's doing. Just playing games. That's carried. Thank you. On to 9.4.2.
Next, we have bylaw number 1935, Subdivision and Development Appeal Board bylaw. Administration has prepared this new bylaw for the, Council's review. The proposed bylaw establishes the MD of Bonnyville Subdivision and Development Appeal Board and provides a current governance framework for the administration and conduct of the subdivision and development appeals within the municipality in accordance with the Municipal Government Act. The proposed bylaw would repeal the current bylaw number 1876 and all amendments thereto. So this proposed bylaw clarifies board composition, appointments, quorum, hearing procedures, clerk responsibilities, electronic participation, and appeal administration, which will support consistency, procedural fairness, and administrative efficiency. On May 19th, the Committee of the Whole reviewed this draft bylaw and are recommending that Council approve the bylaw as presented.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer, you'd like to make the motion? Yes. All right, thank you. Thank you, Councillor Palmer, for making this motion. The bylaw number 1935 being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonnyville number 87 to establish the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board for the municipality to be given first reading. This is not the right one, is it? Yeah? Okay. Sorry, I was scrolling down a little bit, so I went back. Any discussion on this motion? All right, I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you. On to 9.4.3.
Administration has prepared a new acceptable use of technology policy for Council's consideration that will address acceptable use of MD information systems and equipment to support enforcement of confidentiality, integrity, and availability of municipal information and services while helping to ensure effective business continuity. In an effort to strengthen the MD's security and accountability with respect to data security and integrity, administration has prepared this new document, which intends to protect municipal information and services, support business continuity, establish governance and accountability, standardize acceptable use and security controls, as well as enable enforcement and risk management for their use. The Committee of the Whole reviewed this draft policy on April 21st and are recommending that Council adopt the policy as presented. Administration has also included the associated draft procedure for reference only as it relates to the policy. Administration recommended action is that Council adopts the new policy as recommended by the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Just looking for a motion, Council. Thank you, Councillor Duchesne, for making this motion that Council adopts the new policy number C2A065, acceptable use of technology policy as recommended by the Committee of the Whole. Any discussion on this motion? I'm not seeing it. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Thank you, Steph. Great job. Correspondence.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and all council. At the present time, administration would like to bring to your attention that we have 15 items under correspondence, which we have no desire to review any particular one. But in addition to that, we'd like to bring up the manager of infrastructure to talk about MG30 under information.
Morning, Reeve Council.
Good morning.
I'm very happy to be here today, Ben.
Did someone force you to say that?
No, I have to say that in my speech there. So I'm here today to present some information on the dust suppressant we use throughout the MD of Bonnyville. Currently, we use MG30. It is approved through Alberta Transportation for their specs. MG30 dust suppressant is an effective and responsible method used to decrease dust issues on gravel roads while helping protect both the environment and vehicles that travel on them every day. Communities and road maintenance department choose MG30 because it reduces dust, improves driving conditions, and creates a safer, smoother surface for residents, school buses, farm equipment, and everyday traffic. A common concern with MG30 is whether it can damage vehicles or cause corrosion. Unlike road treatments that contain salt, MG30 does not rely on corrosive materials to control dust. When professionally applied, the concentrated product penetrates the gravel surface and binds the particles together rather than sitting loosely on top of the road. This process helps prevent excessive transfer onto vehicles and reduces the amount of loose gravel and dust that can damage paint, windshields, and undercarriages. The application process is carefully managed to ensure the road receives the correct amount of product. Roads are graded and prepared beforehand by adding an appropriate amount of gravel so MG30 solution can properly absorb into the surface. Once cured, the treated road becomes more stable and durable, reducing maintenance needs and improving overall driving comfort. By lowering airborne dust and minimizing loose gravel, MG30 application provides a balanced approach to road maintenance that supports safer travel, protects nearby properties, and helps preserve the condition of the vehicles using the roadway. Is there any questions on MG30? I know we tried products in the past, and this is what worked for us so far. We tried other products in the past.
I don't see no questions. Thank you. Thank you for that report. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything to mention about correspondence and information you want to bring? Thank you, Deputy Reeve. Go ahead.
Yeah, excuse me, good morning. I'd like to mention the Cold Lake Chamber of Commerce invitation to Strikes and Spares. Just it's a fun get-together. So instead of, trying to organize a, weather-dependent golf tournament, they're finding like the golf tournaments just aren't doing anything. So,
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, they like to see a team where people can actually bowl instead.
Okay.
And just have fun and go bowling and interact and do that. So I thought it was a great idea because I'm not a golfer, but I can throw a ball.
When is that for?
I think it's coming up in July, I think it is. Let me see.
So they're asking for a team from us, obviously?
Yeah, they would like to see a team.
Yeah.
It's.
Do you get there, I didn't read that one, Ben, sorry.
Yeah,
Do you
so-
get there and you get mixed with other teams, or?
Yeah,
Or is there
actually-
a MD team that shows up kind of thing?
Right now, it's kind of whatever, but if we can get a team going and we can challenge somebody else, maybe challenge the city or,
Okay,
anybody like that, it'd be fun to see.
okay.
So, and it's July the 9th from 4 in the afternoon to 7, so.
Well, I
nice short
think
day.
we should make Ben the captain,
Let's do it.
and he can pick his team and go from there. How's that
Perfect.
sound?
Sounds great.
Right on. Captain Ben, we'll call him. All right. Anyone else? So we'll forward that to them, and you'll take care of that, Ben?
Yeah, you bet.
Right on. Anything else with correspondence, Council? All right, I'm just looking for a motion then. Oh, sorry, I cut you off there. Go ahead, Councillor Crick.
I was just
Thanks,
going to
Ben.
point out 10.2, the Bonnyville, the regional FCSS zone meetings happening here at the Bonnyville Golf Course this Thursday, Friday. So if anybody's interested in that, it's in our area. There'll be people from other areas of the northeast part of the province, so.
I like to throw balls and it's not recommended doing golfing, so.
That's good. All right, just looking for a motion now. All right, thank you, Councillor Crick, for making that motion. The council accepts the following correspondence and information. I think there's 16 of them. Any other discussion on this motion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Thank you. Council reports. Whoever wants to start, go right ahead. Councillor DeShane?
All right, where to begin? I guess since the last report, I've only had a couple out of MD meetings. I was online with the Riverland Recreation Trail Society, and they pointed out some new things happening on the Coal Lake siding area. Looks like there's going to be a work camp being placed there beside that siding along the trail. I think it's employees for the base construction. Sounds like. I don't know if I'm supposed to report that or not, but things that are happening. They reported that we have 19 bridges on the trail, and 16 of the 19 have been repaired and safe for use. 3 more in the works. And we may have one bridge or trestle on the trail that the Trail Society might ask for a visit with one of our staff and their manager to go look at to see if there's any way we at the MD may be able to help them with some facet of the repairs on this certain bridge. Other than that, we're looking for some access procedures to be worked on at the major trestle. And they would ask that we have a site visit there with somebody from our group, our MD. And they were wondering what the date of construction or timeline on the Glendon water line I don't know if they've approached anybody at the MD, but they were asking, and I wasn't sure what the dates were for construction on that water line.
There's no dates for construction yet.
No.
Still in the process.
So, yeah, because we're doing the tree planting process right now and marking, so they don't want to be in the way or their tree planting being destroyed over the construction, so they want to work with us on that. Attended a Greater North Foundation Seniors Living and Housing in Boyle yesterday, and joined up with that group there. We have, we're talking about economic development again, what the foundations do produce in our areas, and just with that foundation alone, they produce 85 direct employee jobs and about 30 indirect jobs for their areas. So it is a big employer, and it is a big economic spinoff, and it supports a lot of people in their communities, not just the people that are using the facility. So we always have to look at that part of it too. And went through an economic impact study, which went really well, and brings a lot of education to the group, the foundations, and helps plan for the future. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Councillor Palmer.
Make it sound like a lottery.
Sorry?
Councillor Palmer. I was just teasing you. I thought it was sounding like I won the lottery. So I went to Lakeland Lodge and Housing meeting. Still dealing with the concerns of having most of the units that are requiring refurbishing, renovation, that this is bidded out through Edmonton at the regional level or the provincial level, and leaves us with quite a few units that are sitting vacant that could be rented out to people in the community. So working with Lakeland Lodge and Housing and trying to send those letters out, and hopefully we can make some changes or at least advocate for having this sort of thing done locally. Went to a Chamber of Commerce meeting on, what's today, Thursday, and just basically gave them some updates as to what's been happening with our economic development that was provided by Scott. Then that evening went to your region, Our Voice, and it was a long evening, but Barry did very well.
Your nose is growing.
He did good. Very informative. People felt very relaxed to be able to ask the questions that were on their mind, which is great to see. With the majority government and federal, I think we saw a lot of concern on the UCP side, but they're still moving forward and trying to advocate for things for Alberta. So, and with that, Saturday was Public Works. It was great to see those kids in that sand pile with their sand toys, talk to staff, got reacquainted with some and met new. So it was, I think, when I was there, was a quite successful event. And that's it.
Thank you. Councillor Crick, then Councillor Klug.
Thank you. I also attended the Lakeland Lodge and Housing meeting, and I think Councillor Palmer did a good job just covering that one. Attended the Oilman's dinner, a Water Commission meeting. The dates for the Glendon water line, they're just hoping to have a shovel-ready project by July sometime. So it'll be after July. Once it's shovel-ready, they'll just be waiting funding from the province or the feds, whoever they're going to get the funding from. So they're getting close on that one. Attended Your Region, Your Voice. And I also thought the Reeve did a great job that night, so thank you.
Yep.
Attended the Bonnyville Aviation Expo and Career Day. That was the same day as our Public Works open house, so went to both of them. Both great events. And the guys at the shop did a great job setting everything up. I heard a bunch of comments. And my brother from Wetaskiwin was up visiting, and he said that our equipment display was better than the one in Wetaskiwin, but he said the food was better in Wetaskiwin. So just passing that feedback on to you guys. But he said the equipment was way better. They had a lot of fun. Him and his kids had a lot of fun there. Also attended the 4-H district show and sale yesterday. And earlier on, I had handed out a 50th wedding anniversary plaque to David and Glenna Beal. I didn't get, administration had it ready for their anniversary, but they were gone for their anniversary, so I got it after their anniversary, but it was nice to hand that out to them. They were happy to have that. So thank you. That's it for me.
Thank you. Councillor Klug?
As well, was at your region, Your Voice. Barry did a great job. Caroline pretty well covered everything that was happening there. Public Works event was great. I think Monty was trying to recruit some of the kids to come work there later on, letting them ride in all the trucks and stuff. We also had Lobster Fest. I don't think we touched on that. Was that before?
No, you're right.
And we had a chance to meet a 4-time Stanley Cup champion there from the Edmonton Oilers, Kevin McCullen. So don't get to see people like that very often or meet them. And last night I went to the 4-H sale. I was trying to get Josh to buy a steer, but he wasn't bidding too much. It was great to see the kids showing off their steers and getting themselves some money. Very good event. And that was it.
Thank you. Deputy Reeve?
Yeah, I just want to quickly ask, so who's on the Water Commission? Josh and yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, if you guys are at all getting into the water line end of it, figuring out where it's going to go, it's pretty critical for us to include the MD in that, as far as maybe water line to the airport and water line to subdivisions that are right along 660 there. So, yeah, so please.
Yeah, we're making it, I think it's getting proposed to be a little bigger than it first started.
Yeah,
I believe, so.
Because I would hate for us to, for it to go by and.
Put a
us
1-inch
not-
line in and.
Yeah, right. We're not getting tied into that, and there's also lots of other subdivisions along the way that could tie into it.
Nope.
North Shore, and where certain people live, right, but for sure, so.
Okay, yeah, we
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, for sure, thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
So had a chance to go down to Meadow Lake on behalf of the C2 to look at the field house there. We also, Oilman's Lobster Bash. It's a bash or just a meal? So Portage College in Lac La Biche, there was the Treaty 6, I guess, welcoming for the new president there. It was a nice event. Great to see a lot of people there from the area. Aviation show at the Bonneville, the MD Regional Airport. Also Public Works that day, and then Cherry Grove Church had the grand opening, the official grand opening. They've been in there for a month or so. And I had a pretty good laugh with the bishop when I presented him the plaque. The plaque was just a little stale dated, but that was no fault of ours. It was the fault of theirs, and I kind of reminded him of that, and that it wasn't for the challenges they had. So first of all, we were going to present the plaque. The grand opening was going to be in September of last year. And so then when I asked our office to come up with a plaque, they said, should we put September? And we thought, we'll put December just for being safe. And it was in May. So, but they had 14 furnaces in that church. And so when they went to activate the power, all 14 furnaces and all lights came on at the same time and blacked out the hamlet. So, like the saying goes, Houston, we have a problem. So ATCO told them that obviously the breaker was too small. So then they had to wait another 6 months to get a new transformer put in and all that stuff. So that's a big part of why it's being so late. Yeah, so it was good. So it's amazing, like the actual finishing and woodwork in that place is all, it's a sight to see. It's pretty, all handmade. The only thing that they didn't do handmade is the pews. And yeah, so they're a little bit of a challenge there as well, not only the building part of it, But when they gave out the contract for the pews, the company went under, and so then they were looking for a feedback for delivery, and well, the place was shut down. So then they had to go to Texas to get pews. So the pews came all the way from Texas instead of wherever else. So lots of challenges. Good thing they're super patient. Also went to an ATCO event in Edmonton. It was called the ATCO Cup Classic Horse Show. And it was great. Had a lot of good conversations with municipal leaders and the ATCO people. We talked about future power here, future upgrades, and also possible future commercial gas as well. So, which is good to hear. And then I had a Zoom meeting with the feds on about Highway 28 to see if they can at all give us any kind of funding for that. I know there's been a lot of talk about Highway 28, but I just don't want to get any kind of hopes, because like saying goes, if it's not in the budget, it's not going to happen. The province claims they put in $66 million into that highway. $33 million was put in back in the mid-2000s, and the last 42 kilometers is going to get done was in their 2024 budget. So supposedly we'll see what the new cabinet's going to do, and we're gonna push hard again. So all that's been reshuffled, and I have some new letters to go to the new Treasury Board. And so Nate Horner's no longer there, so we have Minister Nixon. So I'll need help taking him down. But
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. Yeah, so thank you for that. So again, yeah, so thanks.
All right, thank you for that, Council. You guys pretty well touched on everything. I'll just have a few points. Lobster Fest was great. I thought it was well done. One thing it's the music that got to me. That was you could actually talk. Some of these events you can't even talk. I thought the music was toned down a little bit. It was nice. They did and C2. We had Ben and I attended the meeting the other day, and Kelly had mentioned how they worked well with. It really went smoothly, and our staff there to C2 are really amazing, top quality, and everyone that comes there is so they compliment it all the time. Did the Water Commission meeting with Josh the other day. Your region, your voice, I had stated, this will go hand in hand with Assumption School. I did the graduation there, so we're talking about homelessness and drugs, and I had a little comment about it starts at the family, right off. You have a family that's rooted, and it's funny that there's a young boy, Mr. Darje, I believe his name was, that was from the Assumption High School, and his note was to, get a wife someday and have a family and be family-based. And it's ironic that I had just kind of mentioned that the night before, and this young guy that's just getting out of high school, I use that in part of my speech, this young man talking about that in his, I don't know what you'd call that, a little bit about him. Every grad has a little bit about them, and I thought that was pretty cool. The night after I went to a graduation, there's a young man talking about it, and he gets it, and it starts at home, and you have a great, a young family, and kind of, it starts from there. And I'm not saying that it doesn't go south with even a good family once in a while, but your chances for your children to have success are far greater when you have a good family environment to start with. National Public Works, I heard it was an amazing event. I came a little late, but I had a hamburger, and people said there's, I don't know, 300-400 people. I'm not sure, but they said it was well attended, and everyone had a great time. And I just want to thank staff for putting that on. It looked, all the equipment was lined up, it looked pristine, and they had a cat up right in front, and there's a lot of work goes into it, and they did a great job. I'm very proud of each and every one of them that had a hand in it. Also, I attended the new church opening in Cherry Grove. And one thing they did is when they ordered the oak for the building, it's all out of the same tree. So if you watch the patterns on the whole front of the thing, it's the same piece of plywood that goes the same right across. I asked the guy that did most of the work there. Yeah, they specially ordered it out of the same big tree, oak tree, and it's the same pattern right through the front of the thing. And they have a hydraulic pulpit. I thought that was pretty cool. We had the board of directors for the C2, and yeah, I couldn't attend that thing to Meadow Lake, but everybody that did attend that to Meadow Lake had nothing but awesome remarks about it. Also, 4-H, I did the opening ceremonies at the 4-H yesterday. There's 55 kids, I think. And what I liked about it now is that, and I had a question from Mr. Kaluk about buying a 4-H calf. So the thing we did years ago is that if you bought a 4-H calf from one child, well, it could be, you know, whose club do you buy it from? So the MD decided years ago that we just support all the clubs, because it's not only just a 4-H kid with a calf. There's long riders, there's the small engine clubs, and I believe they had about 3 small engine projects there, a tractor from a dune buggy, a tractor, and a motorbike, I believe, there yesterday. And they all had them proudly had them on display. So we're not only, you know, taking care of the beef people, we're taking care of the whole region, and any kind of 4-H that there used to be a sewing club years ago. There might still be, I'm not sure, but that's why we chose to fund something like that, so everyone has a chance, and then you're not having, you know, someone can blame you for favorites kind of thing. So, and it happens, right? So, yeah, and another, like we've been, I'd like to thank council. You guys are everywhere. I appreciate you guys. You know, even at your voice, there's 4 of us there, and really appreciate you guys being there and heckling me a bit from the, I was waiting for Caroline to get up and give me a question. But yeah, we're really getting out there, and I really appreciate each and every one of you council for getting out there and, you know, making a difference in our area. So thank you for that. Okay, and staff. I forgot staff. You guys are amazing. What's next? My turn. Do we have any closed session? No. Well, I'm gonna adjourn this meeting. Okay? All right.